Yo, JD here, Limitless, and as you can see on F1 2021 as always, and we are back for another 25% race, this time at Catalonia, Spain, a track that is notoriously difficult to overtake on. We're going to be starting last here on the medium tyres, of course, and just see how much progress we can make. We have a fair good amount of drivers in this lobby as well, so it will definitely be a challenge. So as we're waiting for lights to get up ready now, putting on my Spain TT setup, I believe I was using. So we've got 5 lights here, and as they go out now, trying to, well, we're not actually trying to get a good start. We decide to let everyone go. This is one of the tactics I do, which I wouldn't recommend for a league race. You probably would want to be as close as you possibly can. So I'm just going to let the chaos unsettle as usual. And we've already made one position. That's 3 positions already. Someone was resetting here. This guy, MBSFN, I think he's unfortunately disconnected there. Now coming into this corner, made up 4 positions already. Let's see what happens here. We get some very good traction. Come up here. Another guy has full drift and go down the inside of it, so I'm trying to maybe do the McLaren as well. What happens? And yeah, these just a typical no one wants to concede scenario there. Now we're behind OCD Red. Another guy has got up again, and then another guy, and then another guy. So that was a bit P10 now. So as I said before, you just got to be patient in these moments. But thinking about trying to go around the outside here. Are we going to make this work around the McLaren? I don't think so, because that's VRT Crit. She's a very, very good driver, so don't think it's going to quite work on him. We're both on the same tyre as well. And now it's just about settling into this race. And you can see we're actually very, very close to the leaders, but they get a bit of a poor exit come off here. So I'm going to use my overtake button, almost losing the car here. But then we are probably going to be turning it off now, which we do, just to try and conserve someone. I think this was actually my race setup I used from a BRS as VRT Critchers full victims at curb. Death Chicken decides to go for a merry-go-round there as well. This track is really, really difficult. It really is. I think on this game especially, with the curbs and just how the low grip of the circuit as well, it's always been, for me as well, it's always been one of the hardest tracks to get into a rhythm on. That's for sure, but they're making good progress as Conor Webber. This was videos from a long time ago. You can see with my webcam and where my HUD is positioned. This was from like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And again, thank you so much to everyone who has joined that membership. I really, really do appreciate you. But we're in P7 now. Pace is looking good, and these guys again, they just don't want to give up any position whatsoever, so we're just going to take our time. So we've still got quite a lot of ERS on board, going so slow through there. We actually run to the back of the Aston Martin here, using a bit of the ERS just to get a bit of a boost, and we did set the fastest lap, which is immediately beaten by the car behind. OCD's going down the inside of YOLO Boy. Is he going to make that move, stick off the gears, and another Ferrari spins out. So doing a great impression in this race. We're going to use our overtake just to try and get firmly down the inside here. He was thinking about maybe holding it around the outside, but it's not going to work on that occasion. And now we're up into P5 after 3 laps, so a pretty good drive so far, and we look well on course to do our objective of going from a last to first. But as always, in online lobby, anything can happen, and I promise you want to stick around to the end of this video, because there are some good moments as we're just trying to put Red under a little bit of pressure, makes him go flying a little bit, and now he's made another mistake going through into here, and now we're into P4. He's trying to hold it around the outside here, but again, that's not really a corner where you want to be doing that. And coming through chicane, it's really hard to get a good exit if you're the car behind. So even though he's on the soft tyres, with the ERS that we have, you can see he's not really going to be anywhere near close enough going into this turn 1. So now we've got 3 more cars ahead of us. I don't know if they're all on the medium tyres, but at this stage we're feeling very, very fast. And with this setup, it's a very, very good one. I believe I did post it in my Discord, and for people who are in my Discord, I will be updating my setups probably when I get to a league race around a certain track, or when I find a perfect setup. So don't expect me to be updating the perfect setup every single day, because I don't play every single day, as this guy has gone off here. But yeah, I only do it when I feel it's a very, very good improvement. If not, it's just my TT setup that I use, which I always try to tailor towards a race anyway. So you got to find what works for you. A lot of people will feel very different on the same setup. So you just got to realize that just because someone's quick with one doesn't mean you are as well. But for me, I always try and make them as user-friendly as possible, even sacrificing a bit of speed and quality for the race, because that's where you get the points. But that's just me, so hopefully do find them useful, but I will be updating them when I get to a league race track, or when I feel it's ready to be updated, pretty much. So there we go with that one. But now we're into P2 now. We're behind Veloce Dragon, another, you probably see him a lot in my videos. He always is one of the first people to join my lobby, so very thankful to him. He's a really nice guy as well here, but we're both on the medium tyre. We've got the fastest lap of the race, so we definitely have a pace advantage around most people at the moment here, and all it is now is just taking our time. And I think I said in the previous video, his red light, he always seems to be flashing all the time, and that's exactly what you can see here. It's already flashing, which, yeah, and we've got about 50%, so we have used it a bit ourselves, but he has been in the lead most of the time, so I would have expected him to have a little bit more, but I think he really just likes to defend his positions quite a lot. So coming through here, you're about to see the difference in power between the two, and you see we get a pretty good exit coming off this corner. I think he's using a bit of a boost here, which he is, but you can see we're not even going to use any of it, and we're just going to get this move done easy. And look at the straight line speed difference. We're running like 10-11 wings as well, so almost the highest downforce you can get. And just because his battery is depleted, you can see it's just such a big difference. But we're going to stay on board for the rest of this lap. Now we finally have some clean air, and you can see we're 2 tenths up going through into this first sector. So with that DRS helping out very nicely, let's see if we can get out of the DRS zone by the end of this lap. And the setup here is just working very well. But as I said in my BRS league race, you really need to be in clean air to make this work. So qualifying with the setup is very important. Need to try and maximize it as much as you can. And now coming to here, we're doing another purple middle sector, so still only 2 temps up, but doing slight improvements round through into every sector. Let's see if we can get the triple purple, as we're already out of the DRS zone, so driving very nicely at this stage. Keeping it in third gear here really helps settle the car. Now we're going to use some boost coming off the exit this corner, and let's see what kind of lap time this is going to be. Not a purple last, so we actually lost a bit of time there, but we do a 17.0, which is a very good time. Doing another purple middle sector now, and you can see that gap is just going up very quickly. As we go across the line, let's see what kind of lap time this is going to be now. It's going to be a low 17, but the safety car has now come out, which suits us actually fairly well, because we've already gone past it. Now we're going to pit for the softs and easily come out in the lead. And the softs are a pretty good tyre around here. The softs are pretty good around most tracks, a lot more durable than they were on the previous games, and should be quite an easy, you would think it would be quite an easy race from here, but you're about to see we always have to make it a little bit more difficult, and I promise you I did not do this on purpose as well. So just trying to get my tyre temperatures behind the safety car, which Lewis Hamilton always says goes too slow, and I have to agree with him, it definitely does. But making a good restart here, and we're going to try and go for a fastest lap as possible whilst the tyres are at their freshest. So we're really going to be pushing quite hard. As Dragon actually has a penalty provided, and all the rest are on medium, so we should be putting away pretty quickly from those guys. So if he, that's 2.2 to the guy in third. I wonder what's going to be at the end of this lap. I think it's going to be well over 3 seconds, but not quite going fastest in the first sector because we did that before. Well, I think someone else has got the fast lap now. They probably did it with the DRS, so not a great lap in terms of execution so far here. Let's see what we can do going through into that. Was very, very nice. You can see the gap is extending all the time to the cars behind, almost losing it through there. It's a very tricky corner. You can see the wear is already on about 7% after we've already done 2 laps onto the safety car, but still not. Yeah, they do feel durable, but the tire wear does creep up pretty quickly around here. But you can see this sector was pretty nice going through it here and using the rest of our overtake button. Let's see what kind of lap time this is going to be. It says 16.3, so I think it could have been a fair bit quicker than that, but good enough at this stage. But now coming through to here again, we were actually improving, so we're going even faster and let's exceed the lap time. But coming through into here, we just now got caught out by this corner, which the warning signs were there on the previous lap. We're thinking about resetting, but we don't actually do it. As Velocity Dragon, I think he retired because of an incident. And now we've gone back into P10, trying to just get ahead of this guy through the go. So I was really desperate to get ahead of him going through it here. But are we going to do it? No, we don't. So we're into P10 with 5 laps to go on now a little bit worn soft tyres with only 77% of the ERS. So now we've actually made it difficult for ourselves. And as I said, these things are never on purpose. The warning sign was there on the previous lap. So this guy's going to be defending quite a lot. So we're going to let him have this corner. Let him compromise his life in this corner. We almost lose it going on that curb here. But with some great downforce and speed, we're just going to try and catch him napping a little bit. Get fully alongside, and that would have been almost a car crash. He left just enough room. If both of us didn't drive precisely where we needed to do there, that would have been a very, very big accident. But luckily, we managed to get through that unscathed. And now another guy's gone off. Now we've got a warning. I think that might be our second warning of this race as well. So one more will be a 3-second time penalty. But we do have quite a few cars still to actually get through if we want any chance of winning this race. But I think thankfully a lot of these cars up ahead, most of them I think I'll be on the medium tire or something like that. So just got to make sure we get within the DRS zone of Critch, who is unfortunately being put onto the hard tires here. But I think we are going to get in this DRS zone. So right here, we're just going to save it. We're not going to use any of the battery power. Go down here, you want to try and save as much as you can. You can see we're actually going green in the Delta because of that DRS. So continuing to push quite hard as Critch has now gone off again on the curb. So really struggling with the cars around here. But that has gifted us up into P6. So we still have 5 cars to go. Purple middle sector as you would expect with the DRS. And the tyres are still, despite the wear, still have a good amount of speed left in them. So at this stage I'm just trying to get as close as I can without using any of the battery power. I want to save that for when I get right up behind these cars here. Getting on the DRS once again, going green still into this corner, so about a 10th up on our fastest lap. But I think we're probably going to be slowed down a little bit going through into this last sector as another person's got, I think there's an Alfa Romeo, and then the McLaren is struggling a little bit as well. So going through to get very, very close up behind these cars here. So hopefully he gets a poor exit, which he does, but we don't get the best exit itself. But we are going to use the overtake. Let's see how much he actually has, tucking right in to the slipstream. And he's got the red light flashing, so we turn it off because we are just going to be faster down the straight line. Is he going to try to go around the outside? No, he doesn't. So thankfully he decides to give up that corner. And now we're into P4 in this race. So 3 cars ahead of us. The win is still well and truly there, but we have to get past these cars one at a time, minimum one overtake a lap. We're really going to have to do from now on, because it's really hard to overtake 2 cars in 1 lap here. So you can see coming through to here, just trying to be as close as I can, taking a bit of a different line. I try, when I'm behind someone, try and get out of the dirty air when I'm on the racing line, because there is still an element of dirty air in this game. So that's why sometimes you see me take a little bit of a different line behind people. But some people say, why aren't you doing the same line? That's the reason, because I just don't want to be in that dirty air. But you can see coming off the exit here, trying to be as close as we can once again. Let's see what we can do going through to here. Do they get a good exit? I think they got a pretty good exit coming off that corner. And unfortunately, the guy in the lead is starting to get away a little bit. So again, using a little bit of the overtake, but then we're going to turn it off as these two really start battling. So I was really hoping that they would both be depleting the ERS as much as possible. They're trying to go side by side. I'm going to try and take one of these on this exit here. They both go out wide. His red light is flashing. We're going to try and go through the middle of this. We get the Ferrari, go around the outside of the Aston Martin. Do we get this done? It's crucial that we do. And yes, we do. Got hit in the rear as well. But I don't think it is over yet. This Aston Martin of Def Chicken really doesn't like it. So he tries to go down the inside here. And that is just never, ever going to work. I don't think he likes being overtaken of that, which most people online don't. But that was one of the best moves I've done on F1 2021 so far. But the race is still well and truly on, because red is still on these mediums. We still are on these softs, which do have some life still left in them, but we have to get within this DRS zone, which we are going to do. You can see it's on about 40% where he gets a pretty poor exit coming off this corner. So I decide to use the overtake here, but I don't think I'm going to be quite close enough unless this red light starts to flash here. So we're going to turn it off just as we hit 20%. His red light is flashing, so we're going to go down the inside here. He leaves us some space just in case it works. So it's all about trying to compromise this line, take a really wide line, do the same thing once again. Now we're going to use the overtake button, but this time we have to go around the outside. Do we have the grip on these tires to be doing that at the same time? I think we have just about, but he's just got in front of us. We're going down the inside here, really awkward corner, understeering into him a little bit, but he still manages to hold it around the outside. So there's only one more overtaking opportunity, and then this race is well and truly done. Coming through into this corner, very tricky corner, we really do not get a good exit coming off this corner. We're a long way behind. What do we do coming through here? Then we go down the inside, really super late on the brakes there. Do we get the move done? Yes, we do. We get the traction on the exit, and that was such a good move. I didn't expect myself to make that corner from that far back, but we managed to do it, and we managed to do it cleanly as well. Coming through into this last sector, he did have a penalty anyway, but every driver wants to win on track, and then we end up coming back from that mistake, and then from last place. That was a really good race, and shows you can overtake around Spain if you really put your mind to it. Thank you so much for the support on the channel. It really does mean a lot. I really hope you enjoyed the Grand Prix this weekend, and I will catch you very soon. Peace.